Welcome to another episode of the Fatboy FadeAway Sports Podcast, episode 57. Kind of a random number out there, but we'll take it. I'm joined here this morning by Casey Breyer and, of course, Tyler McGurk again, back on it, back from the wedding in Santa Barbara. Good to have you back. What's up, man? How you doing? How was the wedding?
I'm good. It was beautiful. It was nice. It was good to meet all of my girlfriend's side of the family. I had a great time. It's good to be back. I'm excited to be back. I miss you guys.
The picture looked like you cleaned up pretty well.
Yeah, I did a little bit of, I combed my hair for the first time in a couple years.
I was looking back at some of our old podcasts and I was like, man, Tyler had a massive beard. I forgot how long it was after, just because like 3 weeks of seeing you a little shorter with that. Like it was, I was like, dang.
It was pretty big.
So that was good. Case, what's up with you?
Not much, man. Just chilling, relaxing, enjoying the weekend. Got to see your son ball up, play some soccer. Tried to play some soccer, but yeah, soccer game's getting closer every week.
Yeah, he almost scored this week. I love how I caught him. As like he goes, he scored, and I'm like, he didn't score. I was like, and mom was even like, I think he got a goal. I was like, but he didn't get a goal. They're like, oh, you're being too hard. I'm like, but the goal's a goal. Like, I wanted to actually know what a real goal is. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because I was like, I know.
What were they considering a goal?
Well, because he was like in the vicinity, and it might have like they thought like it looked like he kind of kicked it at the same time that this other kid did, and so it looked like it. But I was like, I know my son cannot kick it that hard, and so I was like, I see him already, especially with his left foot. I know he can't. But I just like that how honest, like you're being too hard. I'm like, but it wasn't a goal. I was like, I didn't tell him that to Xavier, of course. He had a good time. He's a lot better though, Case. You got to admit.
Yeah, he's getting better. Yeah, he definitely didn't get these genes from me, though. I'll tell you that.
No, but I would say there was a prodigy on the other team. But he was Tyler. He had like enough presence to flip it over the defense and into the goal.
What did he look like?
I was like, man, pass it to, when he did that, I was like, pass it to the Italian.
Yeah, he had one scenario where he was so advanced, like everything, where our team was not, to where like I'd have to be like, okay, kick it off to the left or right, and he would just be like reading our guy and just going back and forth and just stealing it and like goal. And I was like,
sounds like a 15-1 loss.
I know. And the kids on the team were like, I think it's 8-0 already. I was like, come on, Team Sonic, pull it together. And Derek
Sonic had charge.
And that was funny because my dad's like, well, you got to wear this L2, Derek. You got to wear You're part of the loss. So, yeah, that was a good day yesterday, though. But it was good. We got 5 goals. That was 3 more than anyone we got so far. And it wasn't by the same player, which is my favorite part. There's one thing I was doing this week. for PE this week. I was doing like pop-ups for people, just trying to be creative and stuff. But I did it with tennis balls because obviously if hit them, and it did hit somebody. And it kind of hit him in the lip. But I was like, well, thank God, that's why we don't use hard balls. But I did that for probably like 2 classes. And then I was thinking of Hunter Holton's dad for like the next 2 days because my arm is like absolutely killing me. And you remember Hunter's dad was like, he wouldn't let him throw a tennis ball because he's like,
or wiffle balls.
I threw out my arm, yeah.
That's why you use tennis rackets, Darren.
I know. I told Hannah I got to use one of her tennis rackets next time. I always tell the kids at the school, I was like, I used to do this all the time with my brother and his friends. I just hit these moonshots with the tennis ball. Yeah. So anyways, I was thinking of you guys kind of this week because of that. But it also made me think, because my neighbor, he was going to do Frisbee golf today. And it made me think of like, is there any fringe sport that you guys really are good at or you really like? Like, I'll throw out a couple examples like darts or pool or, ping pong. And ping pong, I know that maybe we're all going to say a little bit, but so I'm kind of thinking maybe if there's even another one out there. Like, is there another sport, like one you kind of really like playing that you kind of think you're good at? Not the major sports, not like golf or, and I was curious if like there's one of them out there.
Croquet.
Croquet.
That'd be so funny if you started a croquet league in the back end. Yeah. Sonoma County. That was fun back in the day, yeah. But I was thinking that for me, I don't even do one of those things.
No, I'm terrible at all those sports that you just named. I can't think of anything. Ping pong, I'm really good at, but you took that off the table.
And we don't really, and you probably don't play that very
no
often.
Pun intended.
No pun intended.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure. Yeah, I don't know why I was thinking about that a little bit. Did you guys get a chance to watch the Chappelle stand-up at all?
I have not. I've been busy.
Casey,
I'm moving out on the 5th, so I have to do a bunch of shit.
Case, did you watch it?
Yeah, I did catch it. Yeah, it was good.
He's taking a lot of heat right now for it.
I thought it was all right. I mean, I've seen better from him. I mean,
yeah, he's definitely trying to make some points, especially towards the LBGT community. I hadn't seen the other one, so I kind of went in maybe not obviously knowing as much about it, but it still was kind of funny to be honest.
No, it was hilarious. I mean, anytime you watch Chappelle, it's hilarious. I mean,
yeah, for sure. We should get into that more maybe once Tyler watches it, catches up with it on it. All right, should we get into some sports here a little bit?
Absolutely.
All right, so before we get to the Giants playoffs, real quick, I wanted to touch on just a few things that were going on this weekend. Didn't it seem like a lot was going on? Like we had Alabama actually lost. We actually had
Hallelujah.
And then Casey, for you, Fury, Weiler, they it sounded like it was a good match when I read the article this morning. It sounded like Weiler put up more of a fight this time.
Yeah, I mean, he's too big. Fury's just too big. I mean, he's a sound boxer too. So, I mean, if you think about it, I mean, Wilder's like 238. Fury's like 280 almost. Like, that's a huge discrepancy in weight.
Did you see the highlights or anything?
I did get to see some highlights. I mean, Wilder, like, I give it to him. Like, he came out ready to fight. Like, there was no doubt in his mind. Like, he wanted to whip his ass, but it's just not
knocked down in the third, right?
It's just
and then
not
he
a
knocked
good
down Fury in the 6th twice. Is that what you guys saw too?
Yeah.
He does have a massive right hand though. Like that thing is just
massive. Like, I mean, it's crazy. Like, I mean, you watch those two guys fight, like, it's the way they go at it is like how boxing should be. Like, there's not a whole lot of grabbing, there's not a whole lot of holding. It's just like,
oh, there was a ton of holding.
Yeah, but
Fury just leaned on him and just would like make him carry his weight. That's why Wilder couldn't, like, got wore down. Yeah, Fury's too big. Well, let's beat the shit out of him. Like, he had that good round and he won the first round. And outside of that, Fury probably won every other round.
Yeah, that's what
it was a good fight though, because just about Wilder's right hand and he can make everything go away with one punch. And he was actually landing punches this fight, so it was interesting.
Is he ever gonna fight Joshua?
He just lost to some guy. He's to like Unik or something.
Has Wilder fought? He's never fought Joshua, right?
No, they might go.
I was thinking that might be a good fight then at that point, since they both are on the losing end right now of a couple of fights.
The thing about heavyweight fights, though, is just so hard to predict. I mean, Wilder is like, I mean, anyone with knockout power like that, it's just so hard to judge. But Fury's he's on another level right now. Like, for real, he's on the top of his game. I mean, he's pound for pound the best fighter in the world.
Really?
That's a lot of pounds.
Yeah, it is a lot of pounds.
He is a big mother, though. He's a big guy. And
he's the best trash talker, which makes him just interesting.
Yes, he is. All right, let's take a quick little break there. We'll be back to talk a little Giants playoff baseball. All right, we're back here on the Fatboy FadeAway Sports Podcast. Tyler, that look kind of says it all a little bit. A little disappointed this morning. It looks like you did win Game 1. Webb came out, pitched well for you guys in Game 1 versus the Dodgers. Game 2 yesterday, Gosman pitched okay, and then he started to flutter there towards the end. And then, was it Deon came in, right? And then he got rocked and then a little at the end there. And, you guys were finished 9-2. Your thoughts going into LA now, Game 3, Game 4. What are you thinking?
We need a big start by Mr. Wood. We can't have Lidl or Lytle or whatever. Latrell. I call him Latrell now because he chokes like Sprewell. Have him pitch, and we can't have Leone pitch. They're just not any good. I said it from the beginning of the year. Bullpens are weakness, and that just showed it last night. We were down 2-1, and then all of a sudden, or 3-1. Then all of a sudden it was 9-1 and or 9-2 or 3, whatever it ended up.
Well,
I think we can beat them if we get a good start. I think we can hit anybody. Scherzer's going to be tough, but that's why the Dodgers are so good. They run out Buehler, Urias, and Scherzer, and which is why I was scared of them and why I thought they were better than us.
But the guys you used last night, right? They're not going to be used primarily if you're ahead, right?
No, if we get ahead, we're good.
Yeah, so you feel good in your bullpen guys if you're winning. It's just if you're losing, you don't feel like they'll keep it close.
No, but I like having guys who can keep it close when you're losing because we can score. We have good at bats. We always are battling. I have faith in our offense. They scratch across runs.
I understand. I think I'd rather have what you have, which is the guys that are money when you're ahead. When you get
I'd rather have guys who get guys out all the time. It doesn't matter the score.
Well, that's true. I agree. But if you're winning, that's what I'm saying. So I would. Those are the most important guys. And Duvall adding him to the back end looks like that's been a big boost for you guys. I expect a split in LA. It feels like a game 5. The thing with the Giants Dodgers I've noticed over the years, you can tell me if I'm wrong, is it always seems to be the bottom guys that kind of tend to pour it on a little bit more, like Taylor last night and Smith and Pollock. And I feel like that's where the Dodgers have a little bit of the edge. What do you think?
Yeah, but those bottom guys are all-star players you just named.
That's what I mean, but they're in the bottom of their lineup, basically.
But they're not bottom guys.
I don't mean bottom guys in that. I mean the bottom of their lineup guys. Those are the guys that sometimes kill you more.
Sager kills us consistently.
Yeah. Not last night.
No, not last night.
Well, the top of the order did nothing for them last night.
Sager had an RBI single in like the
He each got one hit, but the bottom of the order looked like set the tone for most of the night.
Right, yeah. But does that matter if it's the bottom of the guys or the top?
Well, it just makes your lineup a lot deeper, and if they're killing you, it feels even more frustrating when you don't have the Bettses and the Seagers, pouring it on. That's why I always felt like
the Bellinger double was the killer.
Yeah,
he just hit a shot. I can't believe it wasn't a home run.
He's starting to play better, actually.
Yeah, he changed his stance. I said at the end of the year, I guess, like the last week of the year.
Somebody come in your room over there. What's going on?
I'm the football game's on.
Oh, the Jets. What's the score?
17-0.
Oh wow!
Jimmy Clausen is carried it up.
Are they playing in London?
Yeah.
I found it interesting that both teams that won the wild card game ended up getting shut out. Casey in game 1 of both games, and then came out and played much better offensively the next 2 games. Probably just a coincidence, but I found it kind of interesting.
Yeah, I mean, anytime we get jump started in the wild card game, excuse me, the wild card game, it's just, like they say, anything can happen. But, I feel like the hottest team going in sometimes, like the Cardinals, it can be a good thing, but also a detriment because you're going in there for a reason. Obviously, you weren't the best team. So once you, get into that, it's just, 9 innings of, chaos. So any, wild pitch, sacrifice fly. And I thought the Cardinals actually played a hell of a game. I actually thought they played better than the Dodgers. To me.
They took them to the 9th inning.
They did. I thought, overall, they had men in scoring position. They just couldn't knock them home. And then the Dodgers do what they do best. And surprisingly, their bullpen came up clutch. Jansen struck out the side. Kelly came in, got 2 big, huge strikeouts. Those are the impact moments. I was like, all right, Cardinals, this probably ain't your night. And then Chris Taylor comes up and whap, it was
Reyes hangs it.
Yes, I saw a couple of Twitter posts as soon as Al came in, we knew it was over.
I've seen that.
Poor Uncle Al.
I've seen that pitch probably a handful of times. Every single time, as soon as they brought him in, this game's over, and not in a good way for the Cardinals.
couple notes here on baseball, and you guys can add anything from what I've seen is from the other series real quick. That Max Fried guy, I might have to consider keeping him. He is looking better and better on the Braves. Shutout yesterday against the Brewers. Tyler, I think we've been saying it for a while, is can the Brewers hit enough? You got to get lucky with the 2-run homer in game 1. I don't know that series to me, it kind of feels like the Braves to kind of start. Feels like theirs to pull away here if they going into Atlanta. Their offense is better at home anyways. I don't know. We'll see. Burns will be. It'll be interesting if the Brewers, if they're down 2-1, if they pitch Burns in game 4, if they wait for him in game 5. Like if I was them, I'd pitch him on 3 days rest. But
I gotta say, Tellez is a big boy. Like that is not.
He's a massive human being.
That is not an in-shape baseball player.
He's huge, and he's got that big head too. The other thing was, how do you say his name on the Rays, Casey? You say it way better than me.
Randy Rosarena.
Thank you very much. That was one of the best plays I've seen in a long time. Stealing home like that. That was a sick play. Just the way he timed it and just the slide. And I don't know. I just thought it was, it was a slick play. You don't see that very often.
That reminds you of like the Sandlot. When
it did.
Oh, that was just like,
just thinking the game the whole time. Like he just understood his footwork so well and like how many steps it would take him to get. It was just a brilliant play. It was awesome. You don't see that very often.
When they say like watching sports live, like there's certain moments that I'm happy to watch live. That was one of the like coolest moments when I was
that was sick. It was. It just was. You're like, because it never happens. It's like whether. I mean, I'm not gonna see that in the playoffs again, probably for a while.
Well, I think the last thing they said was Jackie Robinson in a playoff game, correct? 1955.
Well, then there you go. That's quite a while. The other thing for me was kind of the series I was looking forward to the most, but they had them on the games on too early. Tyler was the White Sox and Astros.
Yeah, that's just the Astros have been kicking their ass. Hello?
Anything else?
The White Sox haven't shown up. They can't pitch. They can't get them out. So what is there more to say?
Well, I kind of like the La Russa Baker angle a little bit going into the series. I thought that was kind of an interesting little twist that me and Casey talked a little bit there with going back to their Cubs Cardinals rivalry there a few times. That I liked earlier. I heard on the radio coming in that one of the questions to Baker was, so how is it managing, against, La Russa, Hall of Fame manager? And he goes, well, I'd like to think that I'm a pretty good manager too. And he's going to have to think of that as well. Like, I just like the way he answered the question. Just totally Dusty Baker there. Like, and I got to be honest, I don't see a better team out there the last 2 months. I just hate them so much. I didn't really want to talk about them on the podcast, but deep down the Astros they seem like the best team out there right now. Their offense is just, it's unreal, right?
Yeah, top to bottom, it's the best. Them or the Dodgers, but yeah, I'd take the Astros. They have more just better hitters, like all around.
But even some of their pitchers have surprised me this year. Like Valdez,
Lance McCullers.
He got let up today or the other day.
He did.
Lance McCullers Jr. is unreal. The guy.
Yeah, he had nasty at times.
I think he's.
And they have the consistent Greinke stuff, and
man, I feel like every time I watch the Astros, it's like rooting for the Yankees now. Like I just like.
It does feel like that. It does. It's like you like appreciate they're good, but you're like in the back of your mind, it's making you there in your stomach. It's making you sick. You're like, Bregman is a beast, but like I don't want to. And Altuve is good. And like,
have you ever watched a baseball game where you just did not give a damn? Like when I watched the Red Sox and Yankees, I was like, I don't even care who wins. Like it doesn't matter. Like if someone's behind or ahead, like I have no dog in this race at all. Like whoever wins this series, I just want to lose the next round.
I'm rooting for the White Sox for sure over out of anybody. I don't want to see the Rays or the Red Sox in there, and I'd rather not to see the Astros in there. But if that, this is kind of the way it is. Underrated guy, I always say this he's the best player that nobody really knows about. If you're a general fan, is that Alvarez guy from the Astros? He's got to win an MVP at some point. He's just sick. That guy's unreal.
He's a beast.
He's unreal. Well, anyways, that's all I really got on baseball for this week. Game.
You know who's a beast though, Ty?
What?
Xander Bogaerts, man, that dude he's unreal. Like you watch him, like I expect a hit every single time. Like
Yeah, did you see that relay throw he made home against the Red Sox as well on Monday night?
yeah,
That was a sick throw.
dirty. Yeah,
that was a
I
nice
just had to bring his name up though because he's been on fire this postseason. Like
Did you guys see the play-by-play call of Stanton's first inning by the radio announcer?
Yeah.
Yankees? Hey, that's deep. That's way out of here. And he does his little Stanton call, and he's like, "He's on first base. What did I miss? What did I miss?"
It was
Hey,
really
missed the
funny.
play. Yeah, missed the play. And so did Stanton. He started walking too. That's what.
Did you hear that? It took like 15 seconds almost to get the first base.
That guy is freak. When he hits, he's like by far has to have the most power in the league, right?
It literally reminded me of Tyler in Little League when he thought he hit his first home run in All-Stars. So they're like, how the hell is he on first base? It went off the fence.
He thought he hit it out. All right, give the man a break.
The damn fence bent back.
They moved the fences back that morning, I think.
Tyler had the old school like construction
wire, construction tape fence. So it like went like this. It went whoop. Like the fence was built like leaning back, and then it went.
He got robbed by the fence.
Yeah, exactly.
So today we got the AL. We got Tampa, Boston, Houston, Chicago. Game 3's there. Houston the chance to eliminate Chicago, and then we go Monday full slate possibly. Giants play 6:37 TBS. Maybe the biggest game in I don't know, at least a few years here. So we'll see how it goes. Are you nervous? What's your gut feeling?
I'm very nervous. I don't like
Alex Wood
Scherzer
versus Max Scherzer.
Yeah, doesn't sound like an even matchup.
I think that's why Brian missed today. He's just too nervous. He can't show up for any of these podcasts. He's
a little too nervous today.
All
right, let's stop there with baseball then. And we'll be back, take a little break, and then we'll hit on the NFL here a little bit. All right, we're back here. NFL part of the segment. I'm feeling really good this week, Casey. I feel like last week I must have like a crystal ball. Like everything I said, it felt like it almost came true with the Mac, even down to the Mac Jones last drive there with asking about that. And you texted me, you're like, you got that right too. So hopefully this week you don't bet with me because I'll probably be wrong on everything. So that's the smart early tick. But we'll get into that a little bit later. But I thought that was funny looking back at the week.
Yeah, you were on fire. I ain't gonna lie, man. You were on fire last week. It was pretty ridiculous. Like I felt like a bookie.
Thank you. Well, we'll see how crappy I do today. We'll get into that there towards the end of this NFL part of the segment here. But first, let's talk about crappiness. Let's talk about the Niners. Week 4 performance there. How disappointing was that? Come on, Tyler.
They're not that good of a team. They're hurt. They're not very good.
You had them going pretty far in the playoffs, as I remember.
I had them in, winning the division. After that, I didn't have them. Did I have them in the Super Bowl? I think I did, actually. I'm watching them for 4 games. They don't look very good.
What's encouraging you? What are you? Let's just get some positiveness from you on it. Like, what do you like about them so far? What are they doing good that you see? If they can get Lance to come in and maybe do somewhat decent, which we'll get into here shortly. What are you liking so far from the team?
I like Debo. Debo's been a beast. He's been all I thought he would be. He got a 79-yard touchdown on broken coverage. That was not very talented, but still big play.
Yeah, and
Trent Williams is just a beast. I don't know what they need to do. Their guards are pathetic. They drafted a second-round guard who can't even play. They don't
get off third down very well, I've been seeing on their stats.
Their defensive secondary is atrocious. And their pass rush isn't what it was 2 years ago when they were good. So, I thought they'd have a better pass rush that would kind of negate this secondary awkwardness that I thought would be better than it is, but not great, but better with a good pass rush. And they're not, I don't know what, they beat the Eagles and the Lions, 2 of the worst teams in the NFC.
And they should have beat the Packers, though. I mean,
they shouldn't even have been in that game.
Well, okay, I guess there was a chance to win. There's a high chance to win that one. Let's put it that way. They had a good chance.
Yeah.
At some point. Oh, let me ask you one thing, in case can pop in with a question. About the Niners, if you want to. I got with Lance. You mentioned Debo. Do you think Lance can even maybe get him to be even better with a stronger arm and like going deeper and stuff like that? Because Jimmy doesn't really do all that stuff. Last week was a blown coverage. I know that doesn't count.
Yeah, Debo's more of a run after the catch type of guy. Like take a 10-yard pass and get 15 more, get 20 more. I haven't seen him unlock that. Maybe because that's with Jimmy. And Jimmy can't do that. So we'll see. I'm hoping Trey Lance can unlock the running game with just like having to deal with him. You have to account for him when you're in the box. So, and it gives you better numbers. So hopefully Sherman gets going. He's used to running that zone read at Ohio State with whatever quarterback they got when he was with any quarterback that Ohio State has ever put out. So
zone read.
So hopefully that unlocks the running game. And Lance, I didn't see one pass that I was like, oh, that was a great pass by Trey Lance.
You got to be excited, though, for the start today.
I am. I can't wait to watch it. I hope he's magical. I hope he's Kaepernick and Kaepernick's first start against the Bears on Monday night.
It's like when the Raiders were starting McGloin in the playoffs. I couldn't wait to see it for the first
time. Connor Cook.
Yeah, it was Connor Cook.
Thank you. It wasn't McGloin. You're right. It was Cook. Yeah. Well, I don't know. The Niners, to me, they just two bad losses. I mean, now the Seahawks have a broken finger quarterback here. Maybe that kind of keeps you going. You got a chance today. We'll get into that game a little bit more.
I think we can beat the Cardinals. I don't think the Cardinals are like this unreal team.
Well, you beat them. You're back in it.
I think we can get back in it.
I think the Niners are going to lose today in a tough game. But then I could see them going 6-2 after this. Like Lance gets under Jimmy G. He's in the past. I kind of backed him up for a while. I think he's a good player. I still think he's a good player, good quarterback. But I think it's just now it's time, man. You got to move on. You've seen enough now where he can't stay healthy. And that I think he is a good quarterback. But if you can't stay healthy for a 16-game schedule, it's a lot, man. Like, you almost have to have a backup quarterback. It's
Casey, I'm going to be Brian for a second. He quit. Jimmy G quit on the team. He said he quit on the
stupid team.
No, for real. Do you guys think Jimmy G is just a pussy and can't play quarterback, or do you think he has legit injuries?
I think he definitely has legit injuries. I don't think
anyone who plays in the NFL is a pussy.
Yeah, I mean, the only person I could think that ever did stuff like that is like Jamarcus Russell, maybe, or like, and some other guy, maybe I'm not thinking of it the same. Because Jamarcus Russell was on my team that I saw, like, just, you're like, something's not right. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's getting
Jamarcus Russell hung out with Lil Wayne and 2 Chainz way too much. That's all.
He was definitely hanging out with a lot of people too much.
That purple drink was too much for him.
Yeah, so the Niners, big game today, Cardinals. Like you said, 2-3.
What?
We'll see.
What have you seen good in the 49ers?
I'm not really watching it like the same way you are, so I'm curious to get your thoughts. To me, it always looks like they do a pretty good job with. To me, it always looks like they're well coached on offense. Like they always have like decent. That's what I always feel like they're good at. They just need to I just feel like Jimmy G kind of like doesn't always kind of give their offense the best chance to. To kind of go to different boundaries a little bit is the way you're kind of saying, because you always make the point you can't throw out outside the numbers. So maybe we'll get to see that happen a little bit more today. Can we talk about something else real quick? I don't really.
Absolutely.
All right. Tough week for Urban Meyer.
Oh God. Well, I mean, he got a lap dance. That's not too bad of a week.
That's a little bit of a tough week for it. I saw it on YouTube, and I saw this little video for 5 seconds, and it said like Urban Meyer or something like that at the club, and I just thought it was like some old guy. They were kind of making fun of it or something. I didn't think much of it, and then the next day, I was like, oh, that was actually him at the thing. Not a real good look though if you're the head coach of a team that's on the verge of losing 20 in a row. I'm sure Casey's been there at the club scene there. Not trying to, but when you're a 56-year-old man, trying to not to lose 20 in a row, you sent your team back to Jacksonville. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of you said it, Tyler. You did a little segment the first time he was hired. I don't think it looks like maybe he's going to be short-lived as that head coach here.
I'm not giving up on him just yet. I think he
Now
has
you're loving Urban.
No, I kind of liked him when they hired him. Was the first segment. I don't think it's that. I mean, he did a stupid thing doing the strip club thing. He's not responsible for these 20 losses in a row. He's only responsible for 4 of them. So he was given a shitty roster, obviously. He took a running back in the first round, which was a stupid mistake, in my opinion. I made fun of him for that when it happened. But I still think he can coach football. And will this like ruin the locker room and ruin all of his relationships? I don't know. If it does,
The owner came out pretty strong against him in the sense of like he needs to, you know what I mean? Like basically this was the thing. So,
but he didn't fire him.
We'll see. Oh yeah, I don't think he's gonna fire him 4 games in. I mean, he didn't do it. So we'll just see what happens with it.
Urban Meyer sucks, dude. He hasn't done shit in the NFL. I mean,
well, he's only been there for 4 games.
For 4 games.
I'm not judging on that.
Roster with crap.
And you can just see a grown man in the NFL. He's not that guy. He's not him.
The college guy, you're saying?
He's just not an NFL coach. Nick Saban tried it. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. Like, I mean, Tyler Perry tried it in the NBA. Just some coaches are better at recruiting. You are playing against like the best of the best in the world, like every single week.
I always feel like Nick Saban would have been a good NFL coach. You know what I mean? If he actually just kind of like that's all he could coach. If there was no college football out there and he just had to coach the NFL, I think he would have been.
I just feel like Urban Meyer, he cares and he wants to win. But then when you do those type of things where it's just like, all right, so now you put it out to your whole team. I'm not flying back with you guys after this loss. We're 0-4.
It's not a good look. That's for sure. I just thought it was kind of funny he's out there at the club.
I don't give a damn. The coach, the leader of this team is out there getting, I haven't seen the viral video, but it ain't good from what I heard. So
no, it's not that bad.
Whatever you're gonna put out,
it's not like awful. She's fully clothed, and
I'm just
saying he's just sitting on a chair.
Whatever you're gonna put out there to the rest of your team,
he didn't put it out there. Someone else put it out.
Tyler, stop saying he put it out there. That's disturbing.
I'm just saying. However, the video came out though, like the rest of the team's like, "Hey, coach," like where he's like, "Hey, make sure you stay in today." He's like, "Okay," like, "All right, Urban," like. Yeah, like you stayed in over there. Like,
you think all these players are staying in? They're not going to strip clubs and whatnot. They're probably
right. It comes down if he wins, right? If he wins,
I don't think there's a big deal other than
but I don't think he's gonna win. I don't think Urban's gonna win.
It's his restaurant where he was at. Like he had total control. Like, don't give me none of that BS. Like,
so you think he hired that woman?
He's a leader of I ain't going that route.
Is that what you're saying? He had total control.
He's a leader of men. You got 53 other men in the locker room. You can't be the one dude that's causing the distraction.
They all like to get their pleasure.
I always like it. Tyler, do you always like it when Casey gets on the high horse like
all
this?
Like these guys are like these
like Casey's
Christian perfect men.
Lou Williams
on their wives.
Lou Williams is getting the same shit that he got for going to a chicken and waffle thing. Like now it's like now Urban Meyer gets like, okay, it was just like a lot that's like,
Urban shit.
What do you mean?
What do you mean? His owner came out and came at him. Everyone's lambasting him on any sports talk show.
And they should.
They're not going, good job. Yeah, they should. I agree. They should. But I'm not saying he's going to be a terrible NFL coach. I didn't expect the Jaguars to be any good this year.
They're not going to be
good. What I expected of them.
You didn't like the hire.
I think he's a great college coach. I think he is. He just doesn't have the bravado to lead men in the NFL.
Can he beat the Titans today? After the Titans lost to the Jets. I think they're going to get, as Tyler would say, lambasted by the Titans today. So we'll see what happens. I like that. Good knowledge, Tyler, on the words. Are you reading the dictionary? Are you doing the Stephen A thing where you're doing 3 words a day in the dictionary?
I don't do anything Stephen A does, except for talk about sports.
Except for put on your pants the same way. All right, one leg at a time.
I'm not wearing pants, remember?
You don't wear pants. That's right. All right. Let's take one little final break. We'll come back with games of the week. All right, we're back here on the Fatboy FadeAway Sports Podcast. A quick start there. I like to get a little jab in there. Games of the week. Any game we're looking forward to outside the Niners, Cardinals, obviously. Any other game, boys?
I'd say the Packers and Bengals.
The Bungles.
You don't think so? I think it's been a great game.
That doesn't catch my attention as much.
Well, the Bills and the Chefs, obviously.
Yeah, that's the game.
That's the one of the day. I think Allen. Do you think the Bills, Tyler, can pull it out? The Chiefs look vulnerable right now for sure on defense, especially.
Yeah, I don't.
Not on offense.
No. The Bills like unreal since they played the Steelers. Which is another point. What the hell happened to the Steelers? Like, how'd they go from? But we'll maybe get onto that later. But yeah, the Bills' offense is just clicking. Allen's on fire.
And the Chiefs.
Well, the Chiefs' offense is unbelievable.
The over for that game is surprisingly 56. It seems like that's the number they could get to.
Well, the Bills' defense has shut out 2 teams this year. So, I mean, they ain't no slouch on that defensive end.
No, that's true. I mean, if they definitely do anything defensively against the Chiefs, then I'm gonna my thought of them goes up just to another level. Like I said, I had them in the AFC Championship.
The Bills do run a lot of zone coverage, so the Chiefs run a lot of RPO. So I think that's going to be tough for the Bills. Just for me, because once you hold the linebackers, I think it's going to be like Mahomes going to have a lot of he's going to have McCall Hardman. Like there's going to be a bunch of guys I think getting behind those linebackers.
Big Kelsey, big game, hopefully.
Yeah. The other game, the morning games, let's go there first. The morning game's a little suspect, and they're not as good other than that Jets-Falcon game that I was watching over there. Broncos, Steelers, terrible. Lions, Vikings, I mean, not good. No. Actually, I think the Lions win that one. That's my surprise.
That's crazy to me, but
I know, but that's what I got. That's my surprise pick of the day. I think that's the one that went.
What's the line on that? Do you know?
Yeah. Jim Nance is doing and Tony Romo are doing the Dolphins-Bucks game. If they mean everything to you, Brian, they're doing that game. Or that's a terrible game, in my opinion. I bet Jim lives in Florida. That's why he gets that game. He's got to have a house there. He's got to have a house there. He's like, I'm doing this game.
Will take every opportunity to get Tom Brady on their broadcast.
And
so they got an AFC matchup. So,
and he's doing their game, I think, in 2 weeks from now too, when they play the Bills.
That would be Chargers will be a good game too, though.
That
will be a good game. That's if we go to the afternoon. You're right. Chargers, Browns.
Can we get into the Raiders? Why did we ever get into the Raiders?
What?
The Raiders.
Let's talk about the Chargers then. We can talk about the Raiders too. Chargers play the Browns today. They'd come off beating the Raiders, which I predicted here on the podcast last week. I would say that after Brian and Casey said they would, now they look like not the favorite to me yet. The Chiefs I need to see tonight for me to really say for sure. And I got to see if the Chargers can beat the Browns. So we'll see if they can back up their performance on Monday night. But they do get a little edge now over the Raiders for sure on the head-to-head. The Raiders look suspect. The lightning storm probably caused a big delay there. I mean, what a ridiculous thing. Start the game. Steve Young is on the field doing a report. He even said, he goes, so the players have to get off the field, but I have to be on the field with a microphone.
I was in Southern California. That lightning storm was no joke, but if you're in a dome, I don't get it. It doesn't make sense.
So it was massive lightning storm?
Oh, yeah. It was like bolts that were almost touching the ground. It was kind of scary. But
and there you go, lightning bolts playing the Chargers. It just wasn't on our side that night. That's kind of what I feel. Derek Carr looked exceptional. He played great. Right, Case?
According to your stats, Derek Carr never plays great. So
no, he played good a few games ago.
A few games. No, I don't think it was as awful as people thought. I mean, the offense looked atrocious. I ain't gonna lie, they were bad to start.
56 first half yards, right?
But then when they did what they did in the second half, when they scored 14 straight, I was like, that's the Raiders that I know right now. And their defense was holding up adequately. Like they weren't like, I know they gave up 28, but like they got 2 cornerbacks down. Casey Hayward Jr. was a big blow. Mullins going down was a big blow. So I mean, now you're playing your third string cornerbacks. That's tough to overcome, but I thought the Raiders played well, man. I ain't gonna lie. Like, yeah, they shit the bed in the first half. Like, that was really bad. But after that, I thought they played like the team that I know right now.
Ruggs still looks like he's coming on. That's good to see.
The one disappointing thing I do have to say, though, is their front four was not getting pressure, and their offensive line looked like shit. Like, that was not that was not in the trenches. They definitely got their ass whooped.
Yeah, they did a good job on the receivers. They kind of doubled up there a little bit.
Yeah, they shut down Mike Williams.
What do you think the Chargers win today then against the Browns? There, let me go like the overall. Chargers are a 2.5 point favorite. You don't have to say the betting line, but just do you think they'll win?
Yeah, they're my Super Bowl pick for a reason. I got them winning against the Browns.
Move to 4-1. The Lightning Bolts.
I got the Browns. I got the Browns. I got the Browns 35-17.
35-17. All right. What's the worst game of the day? I like to do that one. Does that go to the Titans Jags just because that was no. These
Jets Falcons.
Yeah, that one it doesn't count. You're another. That's funny how they're like this game's so bad we're moving it to England. You guys gonna have this trash. All right. Saints, Saints football team. That to me is not a great one. Lions Vikings. That's pretty unwatchable. I feel like that's not unless you got Cook on your fantasy team. You're probably not watching that one very often as well. Any picks here? I'm gonna go picks my 3 picks, and then you guys can mention anything. All right, what I bet it early, I went with the Eagles to upset the Panthers today. That's my first parlay pick. I'm going Lions to beat the Vikings. All right, I got Niners beating the Cardinals, and then I threw a couple extra in as well. I got the Bills over at 56.5, and then going Steelers to beat. Who did I have them beat? The Broncos, that's right. They had it beating the Broncos. So with 50-cent bet, Casey, that pays out $58. That's a pretty good return.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
So
I have to say though, you lost your money on the Steelers. It's gonna not end well.
But
that's why I said it's a 17-game schedule. They're only 2 games below 500. They're right there.
They've played 4 games. They're 2 games below 500 after 4 more games.
Man, the Steelers look bad, bro. Like actually, they look bad.
I'm interested in that Patriots game too, though. Today, in the sense of do they stay alive a little bit? They look. What did you think about the Tom Brady game?
He didn't look good. Belichick looked like he beat him, even though the Bucs won. Like, I'd give that to Belichick. If that's what you're asking. The game wasn't very good.
Like Mac Jones throws an interception almost at every out route. It looks like it's going to get picked off. Every out route, it's like, whee!
It's Jimmy G-esque. That's why I don't like. I'm glad they didn't get Mac Jones. He's just another Jimmy G to me. Like, he's going to be good. He can move the ball, but can he make the big throws when you need him? And I don't think he can.
I gotta ask this question, and it's a little touchy. I think the Texans. I think. Do you guys think the Texans would be 3-1 if they had Deshaun Watson?
I don't think the Texans would have more than one.
That is very touchy.
Do you think they'd be 3-1?
That's like over 26 times touchy.
Wow.
I would say they probably wouldn't.
I think
the morale on that team is way down. They got rid of Watt. They got rid of Hopkins. I mean, it was already going down with them, right?
But I mean, they almost beat the Panthers. Like, they're 3-0 when they faced them.
Almost beat the Panthers. I had the Panthers losing the day to the Eagles.
The Panthers were 3-0 at that time, or 2-0.
Not 2-0.
I had them losing.
The AFC South sucks, so they could be. I don't know.
I guess they could. You ripped on Henry.
Sorry if I offended all these Memphis people. What?
Yeah, you have all these.
Henry, yeah,
he's got 580 rush yards, Tyler. I don't think he's slowing down.
No, I agree. You were starting to agree too. Don't act like you were all, he's going to keep up this 2,000-yard pace.
I don't remember any of that.
Yeah, I bet you don't. You have amnesia when you talk.
I'm the one that came on, and then Tyler's like, let me apologize. I don't. Darren was That's on right. there saying like he's going to suck. I heard the podcast before.
Well, I can never live down my Matt Chapman MVP pick, so you can make fun of that forever. I found that interesting. Some of the stats I thought interesting throughout the first part of the year was that I always like the sack. Whoever has the most sacks, I always feel like is good. Garrett 6. He has the most. Looks like he's on the verge of a defensive player of the year season. And then The other one I like is interceptions.
I feel like that's a
Diggs,
luck of the draw.
5.
Question.
Are you kidding me though? 5 already? Yeah, it is a lucky thing, but 5.
Would you be shocked if he gets no more? Like, what's the over/under on him for the rest of the year? 2? I'd take the under.
I bet he has 10.
And then a white guy, Logan Wilson.
10?
He's got Logan Wilson randomly. He's got 3 for the Bengals, linebacker.
Man, boy, Logie. It's a week for Logans.
And your boy Samuel, 490 yards. He has a decent day-to-day. He passes Cooper Kupp for the most receiving yards so far. So you're right. He's off to a good season so far. We'll see if Lance can maybe. I'm expecting more bombs. That's what I'm expecting.
They should. He has an arm. I didn't know he had that running. He ran the ball better also than I thought he could. Because those designed runs in week 1, I was like, these don't look like he's very good at running the football. And then once he breaks the pocket, he gets a little explosive, which was nice to see.
Over under 5 injuries for the Niners today.
You always got to take the over.
Over on that one.
Hey, for real though, Tyler doesn't have a dog in this race. What do you think, Raiders, Bears?
I think the Raiders are better than the Bears.
I
could see the Raiders losing.
I could see it going to another overtime.
I think they'll win, but I wouldn't be shocked if they lost.
Against Justin Fields, his first career start, right? Or second?
Third.
Well, Gruden coming off the racist email, apparently. So I think now he's got even more.
What do you say, Michelin lips or something?
Yeah. And he said it's because of I forget why he bouncing off or something like that, bouncing off ideas or something like that.
No, he was saying like rubber lips, like he uses as like a not as a derogatory statement, but like someone that's basically like doesn't know what the hell they're talking about.
I think it was like one of those things where 10 years ago, it's like one of those insensitive like comments you don't really think about at the time. Like you're thinking it's funny, but it's really not. But I don't think somebody that could be like he is a rate. You know what I mean? I don't think I think he'd have a lot of people that say I don't think, but maybe he'd have a few out there that would also say he is. So I don't know. It'd be interesting to see if this email though would give people that thought it more confidence to come out and say it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Casey, why are you standing on your moral high ground with this?
I don't think he's racist.
Urban just has his penis played with, and you have a big issue.
Yeah, because he's controlling 56 others.
So is Gruden.
I think what he said was he's not a racist. What he said was racism, which is an act of being
racist.
Yeah. But I don't think that defines you as a human being. So that was 10 years ago. I don't think that he still hasn't evolved as a human being where if he was that type of person, it would have manifested itself and it would have got worse. I don't think he would have gone down and been complacent to hold a job at ESPN and then pursue a coaching job for the second time. Yeah, granted, these things came out, just through, research and things like that. But I don't think him as a heart, like as a person, meant that. So
you meant he's not a racist. I got you.
I just don't think to his core of his bone, I don't think he meant that the way it came across, but he definitely meant that as in term of making fun of the other person.
For sure.
I don't think
well
he
said.
I don't think he understood the ramifications.
It was 10 years ago.
And that's what I'm saying. 10 years ago, probably not a big deal. Nowadays, and it should be a big deal. I mean, you can't just say stupid ass shit like that just because you're in higher power. That's ridiculous. You can't say stuff and just
like we do on this podcast. We always
someone's always recording something. We all got iPhones now. You can't say stupid shit, man. Like it's not a part of who we are. Like we are better.
Lap dances.
We are better than this than people. We are just as human beings. We are better than this. That's all I gotta say.
Let's go. I like it. I like that energy, Case. I like the passion of it. I don't think I'm with you on it. I think on some of that stuff, I'm with you on most of that, on what you said there. I don't think he is. I don't think he is a racist at all. But what he said was in that email for sure, or could be interpreted as that.
You're like calling Urban Meyer pervert.
Yeah, no, I
He's a
gotcha.
pervert. I think he had a perverted moment.
It's not perverted to get a lap.
Are we gonna try to do Monday night after hour
With
final
your
sneeze?
grandkids in the freaking restaurant? Yeah,
That was a lie. That was just a lie. He wasn't. His grandkids weren't in the restaurant.
He was
What
saying
is
he was
that?
gonna be at his grandkids at the show.
Yeah.
Monday night, if I don't have a sneezy attack, we will try to do Colts Ravens possibly. After that, wrap up the week. Maybe Tyler will be with us. Probably depends on how the Giants Dodgers game's going. Or he could have the TV on like he does now with the Falcons Jets. How are we doing with the Falcons Jets there?
The Jets ran in a touchdown and they missed the PAT
My under
in
is not
typical
looking
Jets
good.
fashion.
My
No,
under is
it's
not looking
29 points.
All right, guys. Anything else for the week? That's all I got.
Fuck the Dodgers.
Good podcast, Tyler. Good having you back. Maybe we'll see you
It
guys
was
on
fun.
Monday night. Have a good week. Peace.
Later.